Hello everyone, this is Darius from Heaven Store, and today we have another Edison Locals winning deck list. Today we are featuring Rusty Adler, who managed to win not only today's local with 13 players, but also our celebration event for the Worlds 2024 event, where 28 Edison players participated in our tournament. We played 5 rounds of Swiss. Into top 4 cut, Rusty went 4-1 and then beat his opponents in the top cut very decisively both times. Today's locals and last tournament with his favorite deck, you can argue, which is
gadgets, actually. Pretty vanilla gadgets, I would say. And yeah, I choose the deck a lot over Gladiator Beast because it has the best engine in the game by playing just one monster and getting monsters for free every turn. And yeah, for that I go into the deck. I played 8 gadgets with 3 greens, 3 reds, and 2 yellow, which is the best ratio to start at least 1 gadget and not so often with 2. Then we got the 3 fortress and the 3 frames, and also 1 force, just to discard for the fortress. 1 gauze. It's pretty good against some matchups like Monarchs, where you can just play a gadget, don't take so much damage over the gadget, and when your opponent goes directly, you can Omega punish them with the gauze or use it later in the game when you're out of resources and then just have the bigger body on board. And it's also extremely good against Black Wings when your back row will gets destroyed by Icarus attacks. Yeah, then the very nasty card is Fossil Diner. It's extremely good against Monarchs, which is a pretty bad matchup for the deck, and it's also very good to push for the game when your opponent is back to the wall, and you can just protect yourself from Gauze or Battle Faders or something like that. So it's one of the best cards in the deck. That's the monster count. It's not a lot, but it normally is enough to win the game, so you don't need pots or scrap recyclers or something. Then for the spells and traps, we go full removal with 3 Smashing Ground, 3 Fisher, 1 Soul Taker, and the other 2 spells are Heavy Storm and Mystical Space Typhoon. And for the traps, as you can guess, full removal, 3 Prisons, 2 Bottomless, 2 classic Trap Hole cards. A lot of players ask me why I play Trap Hole, because it's extremely good against the Blackwing matchup, because you can Trap Hole the summon and then they don't get to search for the Black Whirlwind, and you also remove the monsters so you don't are always under Icarus threat. And it's a lot better than Bottomless in some cases, because you can just destroy a Swap Rock, so you can only mill once for the Swap Rock, and yeah, that's pretty awesome.
bit of a LOB removal special with the fissures and the trap hole.
Then we got 1 Compose. I'm just testing it now, and it performs very well, especially if you don't target your opponent's cards, but just your own gear frame or own gadget cards, so you can trash them for the fortress or keep the fortress in play by saving it from a bottomless trap hole. So it's pretty good. You can remove Raikus in the early game to push for more damage. Yeah, it's very nice. Then the absolute bastard card of the deck. I played a long time without it, and now where I play it, like I think for 2 months now, I never put it out of the deck anymore, because having the information from your opponent is very more valuable than drawing it in the late game and lose games because of it, because it's stupid. If you have it on your starting hand, you're just winning. We got Mirror Force and Torrential Tribute staples. 1 protection for Starlight Road and another with the Solemn. I prefer to keep the Solemn for the late game and don't play it stupidly on the field in the early game, because you can just play a monster, set a spell and trap, and that's enough to stay in the game, because you don't get a lot of damage over the gadgets. And then the later you have the Solemn Judgment, the better it gets.
No Solidarity or no ultimate offerings. Why is that?
That's because you don't need to be fast to win, and oftentimes Solidarity is a dead card in the deck, and I can play it because of these 3. These are just better than the Solidarity. And yeah, I think you don't need Solidarity into the deck to perform it good, and I think I proved it a lot of times. And yeah, that's for the main deck. The extra deck is pretty much unimportant except for starter strengths and fortress strengths because I don't play any tuners. I'm always thinking to play a Gale in the main deck to have a little toolbox. Or a plug spreader zombie because you can use it 2 times and use your gadgets to make more level 6s like the Urukrias and the Goyo Garden. And yeah, but I don't play them right now. I will test them later probably. The sideboard is pretty unusual, I would say, because there's a few stables in it that you see oftentimes because, yeah, Cyber Dragon, of course, against any machine deck, and you would say Cyber Dragon is bad in the deck because you summon it and summon a gadget besides it, but you never do that, or if you have to do it, you can just fuse them away by yourself. And it's so strong against anti-meta and against Gladiator Beasts, so you have to play it. And also I used it today against Chain Burn to remove the Cyber Valleys. More Floodgates. Triple light because Black Rings is a deck and you don't want to lose against Black Rings, and yeah, this is the best card, especially if you can protect it with Starlight Road, which I played the second one in the sideboard. So they can't Icarus it, and if they don't play especially removal for this card, they just lose under it. I saw players playing no cards in the side deck to remove this card or just play the wrong ones, like Smashing Ground, which never kills it if it's beside a gadget. So yeah, you have to play Fisher to out this. One Breaker, which performs pretty good in the latest tournaments. I'm thinking of upping it to 2. If it's at 2, I don't know it actually. If you can play it 2 or 3 times.
But, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
so what is it getting sided into against?
So it's a little bit stronger than gadgets. So I play it against anti-meta. So to force out cards like Hero Blast and Jiminy Spark and don't make so much minus with the Fortress. And you can also just summon it to bait out the Bottomless Trapper. Yeah. So your Fortress is safe from the Bottomless.
Or pulling the Rock,
pulling the Rock pulling as well. Yeah, you don't like to get it pulled, but yeah, it's pretty awesome and it performed very well today as well. So I just keep it in and maybe play more of it.
Good classic.
Yeah. Then 1 DD Crow. I tried with 1, 2, and 3, and 1 is the best ratio because it's a deck which is very hurtful if you draw too many monsters, and if you have 2 crows in a deck and you draw both, you just lose the game because it's so much minus and the deck wants to make plus. Yeah, then we got 1 Nobleman. Same reason, you never want to see 2. You basically just need 1 for the Raiko, and you can argue you want to have it on your opening hand more often when you play it 2 times, but yeah, 1 is fine, and it's enough for the decks where you use it, especially against Snowman Eater sideboards, so you just don't want to run into it and remove it from game with the Nobleman. Then we got a little spicy card. It's Zombie World. It's probably the best card in the side because it kills Monarchs completely. They can't tribute summon anymore, so no Kaios, no Light and Darkness Dragon, no Möbius, no whatever. And the better part on it is that you can't be cyber dragged or system downed because all your gadgets now become flesh and or rotten flesh and now are zombies. So they strip away their metallic shell and yeah, no cyber dragon for your opponent, and that's pretty cool. And if they play the cyber dragon because they think, okay, I can special summon it because I can fusion summon it and your opponent cannot, you can just set a gadget against the cyber dragon and still fuse it away. Because your gadget is face down a machine and the Fortress Dragon just needs the cyber dragon. So it's a pretty cool card where many opponents they are not prepared for it. Yeah.
Automatic win against many decks that I can think of. Monarchs, Amaryllis.
It's also good against plants, right? Yeah. Then we got the second Starlight Road for the Black Ring Mirror match and also Dark Bribe. Dark Bribe has a special reason because when I'm siding the Royal Oppression, I don't want to have the Starlight Roads in, so I take it out and put the Dark Bribe in it because you can't protect the Royal Oppression with the Starlight Road, right? So if you play against Gladiator Beasts, you would just take out the Starlight Road and put in the bribe. So
because they can negate
they can
your
negate your
Starlight
own
with your
road.
oppression, with its face up.
And also Dark Bribe is good against a lot of matchups like Absolute Zero and Heroes in general, because if they Jiminy Spark you, you don't get so much minus by activating Dark Bribe, because they losing 2 cards, get 1, and you losing 1 card. So it's basically net zero.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's for the deck.
Any final thoughts on gadgets as a whole within the
just
meta?
try it. Don't be shy and don't play Solidarity. It's just a -1 and you get a lot of attack. Same for limiter removal. It's fine if you want to win fast, but a lot of the times the limiter just trades or is too bad for the matchup. Play gadgets, play removals. It's a lot better than the decks you find online.
Keep it simple. Fun fact for all the Yu-Gi-Oh historians, Rusty was also the Berlin champion in Yu-Gi-Oh playing Machina gadgets back in the day. So his name might be Rusty, but his dueling skills certainly aren't. With that, thank you so much for watching, and play more gadgets and play more Edison. See you then. Bye-bye.